Welcome back, you guys, to the channel. My name is Zach, and I decided to watch the new Resident Evil movie. When I first saw the trailers, I thought, wow, that actually looks pretty faithful to the video games. And then I saw the house from the first game, and then I saw William Burks from the second game, and I was like, Come to find out, I basically got gypped out of $10 for a straight-to sci-fi film. God damn it. It felt like somebody wrote a bad zombie script and then just went to a producer, and the producer said, the only way we're going to produce this movie is if you write Resident Evil on the top. And that's what it felt like to me. Plot is different, the characters are different, basically everything about this Resident Evil movie is different, but there's just a skin of Resident Evil over everything. That's about it. Now, I actually don't mind all the changes. Like, a one-to-one translation from video game to movie rarely works. Like, it almost never works, actually. So, them changing some stuff up is actually an okay thing in my book. For example, there's actually a pretty interesting change to Chris and Claire's backstory. They were both orphans raised in an Umbrella facility where they would experiment on children. I personally like this because it gives Claire and Chris more personal vendetta against the facility, not just, oh, you know, these are bad people, and we need to stop bad guys because we're about truth and justice. No, it gives them more of like a personal stake involved. And I think that's good for the story. Other changes that could have been badass was the changes that they did to Racoon City. In Resident Evil 2, the video games, as well as the goofy-ass Resident Evil movies, it always looked like Racoon City was like this really massive city with skyscrapers and stuff, and it always felt like it was kind of like a knockoff New York. But the incident of Racoon City actually happens to a small Midwest town. Population 100,000 people. It's not very big. It's actually a pretty small town. So it could have been really cool with the main cast of the Resident Evil series, you know, fending off a small town, getting on top of gun stores and shooting down from the rooftops and things like that. You know what I mean? Dawn of the Dead style, maybe. You know, they get into like a car and try to escape the town before the place explodes. That makes total sense. It could have been a really simple zombie thriller. But my problem, though, isn't the changes that they did in this movie. The problem is that the actors, the writer, the producer, the director didn't give a shit. Especially the animation team. You guys really didn't give a shit. The plot is all over the place, and that's because the writers took pieces of the first 3 games and kind of smashed them together. They go to the mansion from the first game for some reason. They have to defend off the zombies at the police station from Resident Evil 2, but then they also have to escape before the city explodes from Resident Evil 3. I just don't know what they were thinking, because they had a haunted house genre, they had a survival genre, and an escape genre all intermingling with each other, and it just doesn't work. They don't work together. Let me go ahead and give you just a taste of the bad writing and plot in this movie. Just a taste of it. We'll go ahead and start from the beginning so it's not too spoilery. So Claire hitchhikes back to Racoon City to tell Chris Redfield, her brother, that Umbrella is poisoning the water of Racoon City, and that she knows that because she saw a YouTube conspiracy theorist that told her that that was happening. She hitchhiked back to his house. Like, you can, like, call the phone and talk to him and be like, yo, this is what I heard online. I don't get it. Like, there's just, like, stuff like that. Like, there's easy plot holes that make no sense in this movie, and, like, if that's the best writing they can do, like, right in the beginning of the movie to start the movie, like, it gets way worse, by the way. I'm telling you, that's just a taste of the bad plot and writing in this movie. So Leon Kennedy is a rookie police officer like he is in the video games. It's just that they don't use him as, like, a cool character that you're rooting for. They use him as, like, a punching bag for bad jokes. They made Leon an utter buffoon in this movie, and I don't know how I feel about seeing my main character just be slaughtered like this, but it's really bad, because in the video games, Leon is like one of the baddest motherfuckers in the series. He beats Chris Redfield for sure in my eyes, and he whips up on any of the other characters. So, like, it's just weird that they made him such an idiot in this movie. It's like everybody likes Leon. Like, in the second video game, Leon is a rookie, but he's a talented, smart-headed rookie. You know, like, he's gonna move up the ranks eventually. He's just not there yet. A good example of how talented Leon is, by the 4th game, he's actually working as a government agent, and his objective is to save the president's daughter, okay? Like, it's a lot different than, like, little, I guess you'd say, like, mall cop or whatever, you know? It's just, I don't know. It's just weird that they did that. The CGI in this movie is garbage. It is shit. It is doo-doo water. The CGI team gave less of a than any other actor in this movie, because it was, I haven't seen worst CGI within the last 10 years, okay? Within the last decade. That's how bad the CGI was. You know, actually, I'm gonna take that back. I did watch Velocipasture recently, so that has worse CGI. But if I'm comparing you to Velocipasture, that's There's actually a scene in this movie where there's a zombie dog about to attack somebody, and then one of the characters gets a fire extinguisher to beat the dog off. But he beats the dog away, and as he's hitting it, the camera has to pan away from the CGI dog as the character's beating on it. So they did like the straight up sci-fi feel where it's like, we can't show the CGI mess. We're just going to pretend like you kind of you got to figure out in your mind, you know, what's actually going on as you're smacking this dog or whatever. They did that in this movie. That's how bad the CGI is. All the actors are kind of miscast. Like, the only character, I'm trying to think of one character that makes sense. Maybe Chris Redfield. I mean, as long as you get like some sort of jockey-looking dude with black hair that, you know, you just kind of give him a comb back or whatever. He looks all right. Wesker was miscast though. He is like this country bumpkin, and he's supposed to be like a CIA sort of agent, so it just doesn't make any sense. Leon, as I said before, was butchered. He's Pablo in this movie. He's not Leon Kennedy. He's like some Spanish dude or whatever, and that's okay. I don't mind the switch, but you got to make the character right, you know. And the thing is, Leon in the video games is white as snow. He looks like a vampire in the video games. That's how like pale he is. And in this one, they're like, no, we're gonna put Pablo Francisco as Leon Kennedy. It was just weird. It was just weird. Dialogue is horribly annoying. The action scenes were goofy as and actually kind of boring for a zombie movie. The characters don't resemble the characters in the video games. The plot doesn't really resemble the plot from the games. Like, it kind of could, but they like smash 3 video games together like into one plot, and it just doesn't feel like any of the plots really shine at all. I don't know what else to say to you guys. This movie gets like a D-. Like, it's close to an F. There's a couple of interesting little moments in there, or just like cool, like just a spectacle moments that, you know, get me invested. I wasn't ever like super duper bored in this movie because it was so goofy. But other than that, the entertainment value is very slim. The CGI, like, nothing's gonna really like jump out at you as some sort of grand adventure you went to see in the movie theaters or anything like that. It's horrible. It's a D- at best, 100%. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe if you like this type of content. I'm going to be doing Witcher content here soon. Read the books. About to do a review on the first Witcher, I guess you say, season, as well as a comparison video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see ya! Hey, you made it to the end. That means you must enjoy my content, so go ahead and tap that subscribe button for me. And if you don't like my content, subscribe anyways. My videos are proven to make your schlong longer. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram for discussions and movie topics. And thank you so much for the support. You guys are awesome. See ya.